you see this? Will you do another ETF? How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right, they're giving me the rap. Thank you.
So why can't Larry Fink, who's the CEO of BlackRock, one of the largest money management firms in the world with over $10 trillion in assets under management, why can't he talk about an XRP ETF? Well, if we go to Ripple's website and we apply to become a senior software engineer and scroll to the bottom of the page, they ask, why are we completing this form? And they say that we are a federal contractor or a subcontractor. Now that makes you think, okay, well, what is a federal government contractor? It's a person who enters into a contract or bidding such a contract with an agency or department of the United States government and is paid or is being paid for services, material, equipment, supplies, land, or buildings with funds appropriated by Congress. And as you guys know, the Federal Reserve came out with FedNow, which is the payment system within the United States. And Ripple's technology partnership with FedNow goes much deeper than you might think. Ripple isn't just a minor partner that's involved in testing the beta version of FedNow. Instead, Ripple's underlying technology is actively being used as a core part of the FedNow system. Specifically, Ripple's innovative interledger protocol, their ILP, actually provides much of the technology infrastructure for FedNow's transaction system. And according to a June 23 press release from the Federal Reserve, some of the best known entities other than Ripple that are currently partnered with the FedNow program include BNY Mellon, JP Morgan Chase, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. And if we go to the Federal Reserve official website and look at the organizations that are certified as ready for the FedNow service, you can see other participants like US Bank, the US Department of Treasury's Bureau of the Fiscal Service, and service providers such as ACI Worldwide, FIS, Open Payment Network, Finastra, and many others. And if we go to finastra.com, their official website, they have a fact sheet they put out with Ripple right next to their logo that says managing cross-border payments is easier with RippleNet via Fusion Total Messaging. Now, what does this mean? On this PDF, it says with Finastra and Ripple's partnership, regulated financial businesses and banks can connect to RippleNet's network via a Fusion Total Messaging adapter using standard FIN messages, allowing them to control their file and messaging flows. And on the right-hand side, you can see how it works with the customer bank, Finastra and Ripple's connectivity going to the correspondent bank for their payment servicing, where RippleNet via Fusion Total Messaging is allowing existing banking systems to route payments efficiently, leveraging instant settlement to transact in seconds instead of days. And if we scroll down on this PDF, they're saying that RippleNet via Fusion Total Messaging provides interoperability between existing messaging systems like Swift, Fedwire, TCH RTP chips, SIA RT1, TIP, ESMIG, and many others. So why Finastra and Ripple? Well, RippleNet is allowing to quickly access new markets, expanding banking services, and deliver the best customer experience in global payments today. And Finastra's Fusion Total Messaging supplies all the connectors, integration, and plugins required for conversion compliance and reconciliation. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because this is a big deal, guys. Finastra delivers important technology to financial institutions of all sizes across the globe, including 90 of the world's top 100 banks. And they are showing this right in front of our faces on why they partnered with Ripple is because it's reducing costs, accommodating high volumes of transactions with target processing time of 1 million transactions per hour. And if we go to ACIworldwide.com, which is the first service provider listed on the official Federal Reserve website, they're saying that early last year, the R3 consortium conducted a test of a private blockchain amongst 11 banks, including Barclays, UBS, and HSBC, using the open source blockchain technology from Ethereum, the brainchild of a 21-year-old Canadian programming prodigy named Vitalik Buterin. And Ethereum's platform can handle more sophisticated data than Bitcoin, reportedly enabling users to create and execute smart contracts. And in this test, which ran over a virtual private network in Microsoft's Azure cloud, banks operating over 4 continents were able to settle the transactions almost instantaneously compared to settlement times of days or even weeks. And depending on the asset class, with the current systems used by banks, R3 said the technology could be used by banks to transfer real assets within the next 1 to 2 years. So it's coming very, very soon. And in October, the consortium announced it was conducting another trial looking at alternative traditional interbank global payments using the blockchain platform developed by a company called who? Ripple, along with its associated digital currency, XRP. Ripple is one of the first blockchain startups focused on settlement mechanisms and has partnerships with UBS, Santander, Standard Chartered, and many other banks. And reportedly, 12 banks participated in the trial, including Barclays, BMO Financial Group, Bank of Montreal, CIBC, Royal Bank of Canada, and Westpac Institutional Bank. The purpose was to explore how the use of a digital currency could potentially reduce the cost of traditional cross-border practices. Banks usually keep foreign currency reserves in what are called nostro accounts in order to be ready to fulfill a cross-border payment. According to the R3, the practice essentially forces banks to trap capital in the digital currency XRP, which offers settlement speeds as fast as 5 seconds, where Bitcoin can take 10 minutes, offers banks an alternative. And the trial, which was successful, demonstrated that banks could make markets for fiat currencies using XRP and the Ripple network, complete authenticated payments without multiple nostro accounts, enabling them to cut costs and develop additional revenue opportunities.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So can you guys imagine how many banks would adopt this technology, would adopt XRP, decrease their transaction costs, decrease the settlement time, increase their profit margins? Why wouldn't they take advantage of this? So while Ripple's partnership with FedNow runs deep, there's actually a third party that is also involved in the partnership, the software company called Volante. And Volante is a major client and partner of FedNow, and it also has significantly contributed to the development of FedNow's technological infrastructure, where some people believe that this partnership is good news for the Ripple ecosystem. It could give an additional boost to XRP's price, particularly if Ripple wins the lawsuit with the SEC. Now, we all know that Ripple won the lawsuit with the SEC, and the only thing left is for Ripple to pay a little bit of money in April, around the middle of 2024, for the lawsuit to be completely over. So that's why it's important to share this video with a friend, because you have less than 4 months to prepare before they start ushering all of this in.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.
So it's very clear, guys, that Ripple is the company and XRP is the currency that all eyes will be on for 2024.
Well, what do we got here? Oh, an announcement from that particular bank. How Wells Fargo is becoming quantum ready. Oh, we're going to have a whole brand new system here. Wells Fargo is an amazing industry partner in the IBM Quantum Network. Are you hearing that? their quantum research collaborate with us to be able to explore cases and applications. Gee, I wonder if that's like banking, you know, internet, quantum banking. Well, looky here, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo to use Ripple XRP.
So as Rosie Rios said,
if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening. Whether it is crypto, whether it is thinking about getting into, whether it's the metaverse, etc., these pre-IPO opportunities, I mean, the time is now. The absolute time is now.
And yes, it is my name on the lower left-hand side of U.S. money. So out of the approximately $2 trillion of U.S. currency in circulation worldwide, my name is approximately on 1.8 trillion. I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. But I want to make something very, very clear. Blockchain is here to stay.
we've been preparing you guys for this for the past 4 years. And if you're leaving your car on the track right now thinking that nothing's happening, pretty soon the train is gonna T-bone you if you're just sitting on the sidelines.
Now, another feature of the BRICS, and they openly state this, Chris. They say we are all about multiple alternatives to the dollar. We are about de-dollarization, but they don't say it must be this. Instead, they say it could be this, 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 or this. We don't care. It could be the Chinese yuan for Persian Gulf oil sales. It could be the UAE dirham for usage for countries that want something dollar pegged. It could be rupee for Russian sale of oil to India. It could be the yuan for Iran. Now they've announced that they've got let's just say the connecting cables are making more progress for BRICS nations and using XRP. So think of it as a palette. Okay, this is your de-dollarization palette. You got the ruble, you got the yuan, you got XRP, and you might have a couple of others over time. That's your palette of de-dollarization options. Okay, I think XRP is going to be, they just announced in the BRICS that they're going to use it as a transition bridge currency. Not in heavy volume, and I think, and as they use it, we might see the XRP coin go up in value. I've been saying for a long time, I expect it to go up in value, and then they're going to increase the market cap, and that will allow them to square their market cap, increase their number of coins, increase their market cap, and square their total. Okay. It's going to be one country after another that uses XRP. Now, I did a consult call. It was somewhere around May, I think. It was a guy from Qatar. And he said, Jim, I'm an Arab, and his English was perfect. And he said, I want you to know that I spend a lot of time in Saudi with my business, and I spent a lot of time in Bahrain. He said, they're using XRP all across the Persian Gulf. And I said, tell me where. He said, you see it on cell phone bills. You see it on water bills. You see it on electricity bills. I said, okay, so the utilities. He said, yes. That was the initial introduction. He said, it's several monarchies in the Gulf. And I said, how about for contract and business? He said, yes, that has begun a few months ago. I said, tell me if this is a typical kind of example. There's a construction site. There's a lot of different construction suppliers, and the cement supplier bills like hundreds of thousands of dollars in XRP. He said, yes, they've begun to do that. Individual contractors are billing with XRP, payment in XRP. I said, okay, so this is a trial. And I said, and UAE is behind this. They're the ringleader. They're the manager. They're the band leader. They're in charge of setting it up, trying it out, requesting it, researching it. He said, yes. I said, I heard they spent $230 million setting up the digital architecture for the Gulf payment system. He said, yes, that's true. UAE is the leader. And I said, well, wouldn't it be interesting if France announces that they're going to be buying UAE oil or gas or LNG and a quarter of the contract would be paid in XRP. He said, Jim, I really think that might happen. I agree with you on that.
Now, according to Kenny Nugent, from a close trusted source in Vietnam, news just broke out about the new appointed Vietnamese finance minister discussing the future of all Vietnamese national banks. And he mentioned Ripple and XRP behind the cabinet closed-door meetings. And so, bringing this back to the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, this is much deeper than people think for why he can't talk about an XRP ETF.
And when you think about all the people who send money, they may work in one country, send money back home. They generally do that through organizations that charge 5 to 10%. Yeah. There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies. Today, with computers and electronic market,
there shouldn't be that.
It should be 10 basis points, 5 basis points. It's not sense. Percent. And so I actually believe the idea around Libra, I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
Who gets squished by that? Who are the middlemen who are making money on that?
The banks.
So Larry Fink just said it there. The banks make the money on this. And they're clearly talking about Ripple's interledger protocol, their distributed ledger technology. Whether they're under NDAs or not, I'm not going to confirm or deny. But according to Jason Kumpf, who's an international wire expert, banks make money on a few ways on international wire transfers. So the $40 to $120 transfer fee that most people think is the only cost is not the only cost. They make a margin fee, which is approximately another 0.5% to 5% of the transaction value. So on $100,000, that can be another $500 to $5,000. So that's a lot of money. Now, there is a number of ways to reduce these costs with an easy and efficient and a popular international payment platform that is focused on offering users low-cost international transfers with super low fees. And as you guys know, it's very cheap, it's very efficient, it's very fast to send XRP. So do you guys think that the banks would want to capitalize on this by charging competitive rates for ACH or wire transfers, using XRP, and keeping higher profit margins? And of course they would. Now, according to Alex Becker, he's saying, knowing how corrupt Wall Street is, you honestly think once they get a taste of 2 to 3x in crypto gains, when you see what's happening in the altcoin market, they would not just viciously abuse this with ETFs everywhere, sending the market skyrocketing. He said it's like giving a vampire 18-year-old virgin blood after it's been limited to feeding on fat 80-year-old men with a lifetime diet of Arby's. So that's why Larry Fink has now been talking about an Ethereum ETF. So what's been holding back XRP this entire time? Well, it's this guy right here, Gary Gensler, changing his stance over the years. Listen to what he said recently.
Bitcoin itself, we did not approve, we do not endorse. This is a product called an exchange-traded product, a way that investors can invest in that underlying non-security commodity called Bitcoin. But yes, investors, I think, should be aware that the underlying asset is a highly speculative, volatile asset, and amongst its use cases is really for illicit activity, money laundering and sanctions and ransomware and the like.
It's kind of funny, but if you look since 2017, what's been used to launder money, 20,000 is the unit for a dollar. 33 is the unit for Bitcoin. So that's a multiple of I don't know how much for dollars being used for money laundering versus Bitcoin.
How do you think about other cryptocurrencies? People are now talking about whether there should be an Ethereum ETF and the like. Is that something you think you would take on proactively? Is that something that ultimately, in the same way that Grayscale had to go to court, does the court decision around Bitcoin to you act as a precedent on other currencies?
I look at what we did this week as it's cabined to one non-security commodity called Bitcoin, like we've had gold, spot, exchange-traded products, and silver exchange-traded products in the past and approved in the past. This is cabined just to that one non-security commodity token.
So clearly, somebody behind the scenes has been in Gary Gensler's ear talking to him to get him to change his mindset, because look at what he said back at MIT.
So we already know in the U.S. and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs or not what would be called securities. Even in the U.S., Canada, and Taiwan, the 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about, 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity, a cash crypto. So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter.
So could it be that Ripple and XRP is such a big threat to dethroning the dollar because it's aiding other countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, etc.? Could it be that that's the case? You guys let me know in the comments below, but one thing that's very interesting is people like Jim Cramer, they post certain things, then the opposite happens. So it's like there's these people behind the scenes that are having the faces of these media companies say certain things to distract people or push them in a different direction so the elite can get wealthier. And so Jim Cramer just posted this yesterday saying, checking in with Larry Williams, major top in Bitcoin, major. And as you guys know, what Jim Cramer says, the opposite happens. So maybe, just maybe, Jim Cramer is right about the top for Bitcoin. But if that's the case, then do we have to be worried about the earth exploding or an asteroid coming here soon? Because Bitcoin being down 14% since the ETF launch, lots of institutional demand, quote unquote, coming in, right? With the sell-off taking place and a lot of leverage traders being liquidated. We can see on the Bitcoin, the Binance liquidation heat map, we can see the vast majority of leverage is at the $33,900 level with over $2.8 billion around this range. The liquidation range is anywhere between $31,000 and roughly $32,500. So right now, Bitcoin is holding this upward trending support line right here, but on the chart, we can see higher highs forming on the price chart, but on the relative strength index, we can see lower highs forming, which is a bearish divergence, which means that a trend reversal could be coming here soon. So if you're looking to accumulate crypto, be very, very careful right now. As always, it's not financial advice. We provide no investing advice. I bring you the news and the education. What you choose to do is up to you. But with Bitcoin sitting over $42,000, being up over 123% the past year, we need to see Bitcoin hold this upward trending support right here for altcoins like XRP and the rest of the large caps, the medium caps, and the low caps to stop from bleeding out, because as you guys know, the altcoin market follows Bitcoin. So I would expect if there's a bounce off of this upward trending support for Bitcoin, there to be a bounce for the altcoin market in the short term. And in the medium term, I've expressed this in previous videos, Bitcoin just did a 618 retracement on the Fibonacci retracement tool. And during the last two bull runs, each time that Bitcoin did a 618 retracement, we saw a correction to the downside take place going into Bitcoin's halving. You can see back here from June of 2019 until 2020, Bitcoin dropped over 70%. And then in June of 2016, Bitcoin did a 618 retracement and then dropped 40% going into Bitcoin's halving. So in the medium term, I would expect Bitcoin to come down anywhere between $30,000 and $35,000 going into Bitcoin's halving, as the majority of Bitcoin ETF news has already been priced in. And if that happens, I would expect Bitcoin's dominance to roll around to the downside. And the last time we saw Bitcoin's dominance drop from about 70+% all the way down to 39% right here during 2021, we saw one of the biggest altcoin rallies in history. So will we see the altcoin market go absolutely crazy with Bitcoin cooling off for a little bit? Well, that's a good question, because looking at Ethereum to the US dollar price chart, we can compare Ethereum to the last market cycle. And when we look back here around August of 2020, when Ethereum broke the high of July of 2019, we saw it breach upwards of about $496, come back down to this resistance, test it as support, and then break on out of here and go all the way upwards of $4,000. Now we're seeing this similar situation play out where Ethereum broke the resistance from April of 2023, August of 2022. It breached upwards of $2,700. So I believe Ethereum could push higher in the short term with the rest of the altcoin market. But if Bitcoin comes down to $33,000 or even $30,000, I would expect Ethereum to come back down to this support leading into Bitcoin's halving, and then for us to see the true altcoin rally on the tail end of 2024. So if you're getting into the crypto markets and expecting to make massive profits, I want to share with you what to focus on so you don't end up like this guy. absolutely wrecked. So if you don't want to get wrecked in the markets, you have to know where the liquidity is going to flow next. So with Larry Fink saying that they're focusing on Ethereum ETF next, that's being front run by the majority of traders in the markets, not just the institutions, guys, the traders, because as you know, if you've been subscribed to the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like this video and share this with a friend. But the majority of investors in the space have been getting in the markets before the institutions, because we've been buying the bottom since $15,000, $16,000 all the way up to where we are today, with the institutions finally launching their ETFs. So as you guys know, the Ethereum ecosystem, with Ethereum rallying over the past 7 days, roughly 13-14%, the Ethereum ecosystem projects are going to absolutely crush. And we've talked about those in previous videos on which projects are going to do well. Now, another project that I do think is going to do well is XLM. You know, this was just posted on Twitter where Franklin Templeton is bullish. The $1.5 trillion asset management firm has chosen Stellar's XLM, and you can tokenize anything you want on Stellar. And so Larry Fink is saying tokenizing real world assets is the trend. And on top of that, you can do it much easier, more scalable, faster, more secure, and cheaper than Ethereum or Bitcoin through XLM and even, you know, XRP. And so a lot of XRP holders right now have been frustrated because, you know, the metaphorical switch has not been flipped yet, because the payment rails for the SWIFT system, you know, the Bank for International Settlements, the World Economic Forum, the Federal Reserve, they're not fully ready yet. And so that's leading to a suppression of price of XRP, but I do believe XRP will be that dark horse. So when we finally see XRP break through and start to prove a lot of the naysayers wrong, then you guys will be there, you'll be ready, and you're in the wave pool ready to get pitted right there. Well, pow! If you want to discover our top altcoin picks first, get early bird access to our financial education platform, all you gotta do, go to bullrunners.com, click the button on the page, put in your best email address. You'll be subscribed to our newsletter. You'll get the breaking news first before these videos are uploaded, distributed, and pushed out there in the algorithm, because we like to give you the best information to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy. And together, we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank. Beep, beep, beep. Boom, backing it into the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind, because we believe that the spending power of the dollar is going down in value. That's a fact based on inflation. Blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies are going up in interest. That's the truth. And together, you know where we're going. We're going camping on the beaches of the moon. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.